It's the initiates, the #1 spiritual panel. Hide your baby mama, wives, and girlfriends, because spiritual intelligence is the #1 way to turn her on. Are you turned on?
I don't know why, but y'all really don't want to admit that Drake's success is based off of light-skin privilege. It's the fact that he's biracial, that's why he does the numbers that he does. He's not black, he's biracial. Really sides with whiteness, with his family and what he produced as a child. And then he does not, none of his music talks about any type of black man experience, any type of black person experience in America. He makes his music very general on purpose because he wants all types of people to relate to his music, and people see themselves in him because he's not black. He's not a dark-skinned black man. Like Kendrick Lamar, clearly a black American man, makes music about the black experience, because really, how could you not when you're a black man? And that just even goes to further prove that Drake is like, he doesn't live in a black experience. We talk about light-skin privilege so heavy when we talk about women in the industry, but we never talk about that with Drake. A lot of people see themselves in Drake because he's not black, and that allows them to connect with him. There's more white people in America than black people. He has a larger audience base.
I said we, it's not just me, I'm what the culture feeling. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough?
History is a lie. How were Jews described in Europe before Ashkenazis became the majority? From Nature, Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, page 123. Quote, Waite says, an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews. Especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Pritchard. The Duchesse d'Abrante, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark. Another source can be found from The Natural History of Man by James Cowles Pritchard. Quote, the Jews of Portugal are very dark. More corroborating evidence can be found from the Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackay, Esquire, published in 1733. Daniel, Earl of Nottingham, Secretary of State, is eldest son to Mr. Finch, Lord Chancellor in the reign of King Charles II. He hath also the exterior air of business and application, enough to make him very capable. In his habit and manners very formal. A tall, thin, very black man, like a Spaniard, or Jew, about 50 years old. We can appreciate that even in the 1700s, people from the British Isles recognized Jews to be of a dark complexion, like their Secretary of State, Daniel Finch, 2nd Earl of Nottingham. By the way, this is supposed to be a contemporary painting of Daniel Finch, Earl of Nottingham. This man is clearly of a fair complexion, not dark, like a Jew, as he is described. Just a little peek into the whitewashing of history. Finally, from Shakespeare and the Jews by James Shapiro.
Shakespeare and the Jews from James Shapiro. All right, and we're about on page 171 of this book, when William Brereton jotted down his impressions of the Jews in the synagogue in Amsterdam in 1635. Amsterdam, again, that's in the Netherlands, Holland, all right, the Dutch, this is a Dutch synagogue, Dutch people, right, Amsterdam, 1635. He's going to let you know that he noted that the Jewish men are most black. They're most black. The Jews. Who was the Jews? Again, who was the Jews that were in Amsterdam? Most of those Jews, all right, had fled from Spain and Portugal. Sephardic Jews who were what? Most black. It says, and when the Scottish minister Robert Kirk toured London in January 1690, he also paid a visit to the synagogue there. Now, this is a whole other different country. Right now, he's in England. Now, a whole different person, letting you know what he saw when he went in the synagogue, the Jewish synagogue in London, all right, in 1690. He observed over 200 Jews worshiping, 200, all right, 200 people, 200 Jews. He noted in his journal that they were all very black men. Again, Jews worshiping in a synagogue in London. They were what? All very black men. All very black men. Sephardic Jews. Who was in London as a Jew? A lot of these, again, were Sephardic, Moorish Jews from Portugal and Spain. A lot of these were Huguenots, so-called Huguenots.
You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still gonna be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nose, it can only be Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off, take an ear off, or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand.
You know what's funny? You know, if you know my profile, you know I talk about the Hebrew Israelites a lot. And I have tons of people like, you know, bashing them and, you know, saying they're not who they are. But sit there and listen to a famous rapper that's an Israelite and have no idea that they listen to the songs about Israelites. How about Kendrick Lamar? The whole damn album, he talks about Israelites and waking the children up. What do you think DNA means? Or the song Humble. And then after that, in another one of his songs called Fear, his uncle talks about the curse of Deuteronomy.
I'm an Israelite, don't call me black no more. That word is only a color.
He has a song called Yah.
Every day I do 5 things that people have been historically killed for. Every day. And it's just, I want to prove, first of all, I am Jew also. The 12 lost tribes of Hebrew. Do the math. Do your research on it. We have got our culture ripped from us and then told we were just simply void of color, which is another definition for black. But if we knew we were a culture and knew we were a people the way the Jewish people know, then we wouldn't abort ourselves. We wouldn't shoot each other dead in the streets and then rap about it. We wouldn't brag about, having sex with each other's wives. We would keep our families together and we would do business together. The most dangerous place for a black person in America is actually in our mother's stomachs.
It's like every Jew is going to just really embrace.
Well, here's the thing. There are Jews like my dad who cling to the biggest reaches. Yeah. Who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be that's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
You're doing something that I could never do. You're being black and Jewish, man.
I know.
It's never gonna fucking happen. No, I've tried. I fucking tried. Ask everyone at North Chevy Chase Elementary School and Wesley Middle School. I tried my hardest, but at the end of the day, I'm here wearing shorts in cold weather and long sleeves. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good.
So in all seriousness, though, is this a little crazy?
Yeah, no, it's beyond a little crazy, but the key is to keep my composure and just.
Man, peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. It's the initiates here with another live stream. We are the #1 spiritual panel on the internet. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your grandma, tell everybody. The initiates are back on and they with another fire video. You know how we doing. Straight information, straight dialogue in reference to spiritual things and spiritual matters from the divine masculine perspective, especially on the internet where people is talking about boys and girlfriends. Is men better? Is women worse? Like, all of these particular conversations. But if you're looking for a mature, deep, spiritual conversation about what's going on in these days and times, you have come to the right place. Here with my nearest and dearest friends, Jabri and Sacred Serpent, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, their socials, and of course a little message to the collective to get started. But before we go any further, please like the video. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, video on your social. Let as many people know about this video as you can. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, Feathers.
What up? They call me Breeze. You can follow me on Instagram at Jabriji. Can you hear me good? Okay. It's Jabriji, Jabriji. Follow my my YouTube as well. You can find it through my Instagram. And man, yeah, I'm just here for the vibes and to share information, and one thing I want to say, don't take nobody word for it, go see for yourself. Because a man without the spirit ain't shit. I don't care who it is, whoever you adore. If he ain't following God, if he ain't following his ancestors, they leading you to the slaughterhouse. But yeah. Unmute yourself.
My fault. Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent on Instagram. Rasheen Maurice on Facebook and Twitter as well. The Initiates on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Substack for the Initiates. Join that. Jump on that as soon as possible. Join the Discord as soon as possible. Very interesting, enlightening conversations we have. We just building a community. We just getting started. Outside of that, definitely check out whiterabbitsite.com. Definitely check out Hood Mystic at sedmore.com. Definitely check out ColombianExchange.com. And I just want to give our shade to the ancestors, known and unknown, and all of y'all ancestors, known and unknown. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now, first things first, what is a Drake? According to etymologyonline.com, a Drake is a dragon. A dragon, a sea monster, a huge serpent. Now, like I said, this is the spiritual meaning of this stuff because you could go anywhere on the internet and see who got the better bars. And even though we're going to rank our favorite Kendrick Lamar and Drake albums at the end of this live, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun. Like the Initiates, we do have fun. We do talk about different things. However, it is on brand for us to just simply give you the metaphysics or the occult of what's happening, right? Because when the industry is telling you, Kendrick Lamar is telling you, but you might not know. So like Jabri said, you got to learn all of this stuff for yourself. So first of all, Drake is a dragon, right? It's Latin, Draco. Shout out to Big Draco, Soldier Boy, right? But overall, it's a dragon. So that would bring you straight into Revelations chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his heads. Now, what this would look like is Drake in the biggest mansion in Toronto with cars, entourage, #1 singles, the baddest women. But guess what? According to Revolution, I mean revolution, my bad. Revelation, all of this is just a mere illusion because according to Zachary Lansdowne, chapter 12 is all about illusion. Now Drake, industry darling, his symbol is an owl. Owl connects you to the Bohemian Grove, secret society, Illuminati, things of that nature. But what is it really? Well, according to Zachary Lansdowne, it is nothing but a mere illusion. So I want to start the conversation off with the concept of illusion and just see what y'all how y'all take this information just to get started off. I'm gonna start off in the deep end and make my way to the shallow. You feel me? In verse 3, the great red dragon is taken as illusion because verse 9 equates this dragon with the devil or Satan, both of which denote illusion, right? So without illusions, conflict is impossible, right? And what is all this about? A conflict. But where do conflicts come from? Illusions. So how do y'all take that? Just to start off, that's just my opening statement, and then we could just go from there. But how do y'all take that line of reasoning? Maybe you've heard it before, maybe it's a download that you've had previously, or maybe not.
What was that last line you said? What was the last line?
Without illusion, conflict is impossible.
So if there is no illusions, there is no conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But with illusions, conflict is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you in a fucked up relationship, you're going to have conflict. But you wouldn't necessarily you'd be confused about being in a fucked up job, right? And it's not working out for you. You're like, damn, I'm having a conflict. But that conflict is an illusion that you haven't really seen for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, that's something I can apply to my everyday life, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's a journal prompt right there. You know what I mean? How many conflicts do I have in life? Whether it's internal with other people, and then try to peer deeper into, what illusions did I set, or what illusions did I agree to? What illusions do I affirm daily to create these conflicts? That's the first thing that comes to mind. But in the light of this video, shit, man, I know they rappers, they artists, but they actors,
They actors too.
Yeah. And when you act, you portray, you know what I mean? You put on an illusion of something happening, you know what I mean? But it's not really happening.
Mm-hmm. Cause Drake, he Leo rising. His chart is the inside chart. So Drake is a Leo rising, right? And then Kendrick in his 11th house, let me see. His 11th house is Leo. So which would be a good sign, because like the opposite sign of Leo is the 11th house, right? Aquarius. So his 11th house is Leo. So that's when he performs to large crowds. Mm-hmm. Right? So Drake more or less got Drake trying to be Kendrick Lamar in a certain aspect. You can understand a jealousy. Because if you look at the first house, if your first house in Leo and somebody else's 11th house in Leo, what does that mean? Kendrick is 11 steps ahead of you. And I'm not even trying to, I don't have a side, bro. I really don't. I'm just telling you, you can, if I'm in kindergarten, right, and somebody is in the 11th grade, is that person smarter than me? or am I the smart one in kindergarten? if you're using common sense.
I mean, they're a little bit more advanced. They're a little more.
Chat, help us out. Is
They're a little
somebody
bit
smarter?
They're a little bit more advanced than you.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah, but you know, when
Because
you look at the
the
chart
best,
though.
I was gonna say the best basketball player in AAU is still nowhere near good as Anthony Edwards.
Not even close.
You know,
Not even close. But he could be the number one player in the nation for 7-year-olds.
Mhm.
You wouldn't necessarily say he can make it in high school basketball because he's so nice.
Mhm.
Right? But a Leo rising is like kind of like limiting, right? Because people can see it on you. Like your rising sign is really a challenge, right? Because that's how I determine what's a rising sign without a time of birth, right? Where are you limited at? What hurts the most? Like where have you been hurt the most? Oh, yeah, I got real bad knee problems. Okay, you might be a Capricorn rising. We don't know, but you know what I'm saying? We can start there, right? Because when you work through your rising sign, you can actually ascend. But right now, we can kind of see like, far as this back and forth between Drake and Kendrick, none of them are ready to be honest with one another, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That shit makes total fucking sense, and it fits, you know, because it actually points that line within the narrative that not too many people want to tug on because, again, you know, they weren't privy to our pregame, but we're just talking about essentially a popularity contest and who's more popular at the end of the day, right? So, Kendrick is talking about or alluding to biracial undertones, right? But these biracial undertones also exist within Kendrick's household, right? Like his kid's mother is biracial, right? So, and then he's pointing out the fact that Drake is an actor. Well, Kendrick is also an actor, right? So, like, he's supposed to be a really black man's black artist from the West Coast, but he's got songs with Taylor Swift, right? Like, and Maroon 5. Like, it's not like it's a stretch for some people to say you sold out too, right? So I think what we're talking about is artistry with cleverness added to it, right? And the cleverness is going to tug on people's emotional heartstrings because those points that are pointed out are tethered to trauma points within a society who's also not ready to be honest with themselves, right? Like you have black people who don't like the fact that they are black people. Psychologically, they're not willing to admit that, but we all know this to be true. So I think it's just one of those touchy subjects that if you fall on either side, it actually just points to a particular part in your character, and that doesn't make it good or bad. It just means that if you fall on either side, that means this is attached to you. And that's how this thing is going to play out.
That's real. That's real because everything is like everybody that's like, is it Kendrick or is it Lamar or is it Drake or is it Aubrey? Like, you know, I feel like every time you put yourself in these types of conversations, you more or less not dealing with what's going on inside of you. And the deeper people go down the rabbit hole, we were also saying this in a pregame. If you dive down rabbit holes without a sense of hierarchy and putting God first, well, that rabbit hole becomes what the Bible says in Revelation, a bottomless pit. Right, that rabbit hole just goes deep, 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 and you lose yourself. Right, I think that you can really utilize certain things that's being put out and understand the undercurrent about what's happening with you. Fuck Drake, fuck Kendrick. That's how
Absolutely.
I personally feel
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
From the cradle
Absolutely.
to the grave, I'd rather talk about y'all niggas' musical career than Drake and Kendrick.
That's a
You feel
fact.
me?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I want to hear about y'all creative endeavors. However, I do like what they help the collective understand about self, because if you have a sense to like be mindful about what's happening, and everybody want to talk about Drake versus Kendrick, and everybody got a different perspective, and they want you to choose a side, my spider senses easily start to like tingle. Like, what's really happening? Because this is a distraction.
Absolutely. This is more of, I think this points more towards a societal issue. You know what I mean? Like, if we wanted to take this from a perspective aspect, as opposed to a perception. Like, let me take myself out of the equation and let me gain a broader perspective on the totality of this. And if I'm looking at it from that angle, it would tell me that this is more a lesson about society than anything. Because for all of the beautiful fucking arguments that I've heard for why one is better than the other, one would have to ask themselves eventually, where is that energy with your life? Right? Like, when you go through a issue in your life, do you have that same energy? Do you keep that same energy? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're sure about yourself and what it is that you're doing every day, do you have that same energy? And I know it's like, who the fuck am I to be posing this question? Hey, I had to pose myself this question too. Right? Like, it's not like I'm bringing it to the collective because I need y'all to be my answer. Like, no, I had to ask myself too. The first 24 to 48 hours, I felt myself becoming divested in whichever side this thing actually turned out. Like, I found myself being wrapped up in the rapture, so to speak. But when I removed myself from the situation, and I started to talk to my brothers, like, oh yeah, this is the same playbook. It's the same recipe. It's the same operation. Like, I swear to God, we could go back through all the rap beefs that gathered everybody's attention up together, and they all ended and started the same way. So this is not exclusive to these two gentlemen, nor is it exclusive to this time. Right? So outside of that, now let's remove it from the emotional aspect. Right? Because once you become divested in something on an emotional level, all ration go be to hell. Like, who gives a fuck about right or wrong then? I feel this way, so this needs to be right. Now we in something carnal, right? Now we into some demonic type shit that doesn't even exist within the realms of understanding and comprehension, right? But because I am emotionally invested in this, right? He had on blackface last year. Y'all let him get away with it last year. Don't talk to me about it this year, right? Like, don't bring this to my porch now and be like, you need to be real mad about this. Y'all knew about it last year, and that was an old picture.
That reminds me of
You know what I'm saying? Like, this selective outrage shit. Like,
Never.
no, you're not gonna wrap me up in this shit, bro. Like, you're not gonna do this to me, bro. Like, so I think once we remove the emotional aspect from this shit and we look at it like on a reasonable level, a logical level, you could see the game. But what I think is actually going on is that you have a lot of people who don't want to remove the emotional aspect of it. And because they don't, like this is gonna keep going for a while. Because people are saying shit that they never felt they got the chance to say before. Like they saying it now. Like I'm seeing all kinds of shit, bro. Like, you know, people pick and choose who they want to let past the finish line. And all I'm saying is selective outrage, bro, because y'all let him pass the finish line. If y'all got a problem with Drake, don't be mad at him now. Like y'all let him go, bro. Like don't be mad at the machine now. Like y'all was in the club dancing to him. Like don't be mad now.
I think it's not. I think it's more or less like when people. I don't think even if every black person in the country said we hate Drake, I don't think that would ever even matter because the world have split into so many different sectors that whatever we focus on, we might think like it's the end all be all, but it's a million different things happening at the same time that we probably not privy to, and that's the nature of the beast to get you like to be. So that's really the magic and the mind control of it, right? So I think a lot of it is just learning how to not even be drawn to this type of shit, you know, as opposed to like trying to figure it out or debate it. But a lot of it, you know, what y'all started out to say is like they are both actors, right? Meaning that if you ever watch like a biopic of a singer, you know, like the Aretha Franklin movie or the Elvis Presley movie, they'll have the actors doing the singing parts, but somebody have already written the song, it been rehearsed. So Drake, he operate off of reference tracks. You know, if you type Drake reference track, you will find basically all his songs being performed by somebody else, meaning that they sent that to him and he basically copies it verbatim, changes a few words. Drake is a good actor, right? Drake isn't just like somebody that just come out of nowhere and, you know, he's like rapping. No, this is a plan, a deep and dark secret plan. Like a lot of this shit that been happening as far as like Epstein, Diddy, Drake is right there, right? Because his dad is a musician, a drummer for Jerry Lee Lewis. His dad goes to Canada with Jerry Lee Lewis. Now, y'all might not know who Jerry Lee Lewis is. His wife, he got married to a girl that was 13. So that's just how Jerry Lee Lewis rolled, right? So
not to cut you off, big bro, but just to throw a quick in. If they know anything about the movie Great Balls of Fire, that's who they're talking about. Dennis Quaid played Jerry Lee Lewis.
That's the song, Great Balls of Fire, right? That's his claim to fame, right? But this nigga was a wild person, right? But his dad drummed for Jerry Lee Lewis. Think about how wild that is.
Wild. Super wild.
Like,
super wild because the connection to that nasty work that had him and that 17-year-old on stage, that's wild.
I wouldn't even bring up the stuff on Drake. The stuff on Drake, like on Twitter with underage girls, is just ridiculous, right?
Wild.
But it makes sense though, because his dad was a drummer for Jerry Lee Lewis. But it gets even weirder, right? The weird thing is that Drake's dad is an actor. Most people don't know. Like the
on top of a drummer. So he's an actor on top of a drummer.
He's a drummer and an actor, right? This is weird. Like this shit none of this shit makes sense in real life.
It don't make sense right now.
But it's real, but it's a real story, right? Listen, man, Drake's dad studied under a great like actor director named Lee Strasberg, who worked with Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, and of course the great Dennis Graham, father of Drake. Right? And then he stumbles into a bar looking for a cigarette, and Drake's mom says, "Oh, I got a cigarette right here." No, let's get married and have a son, right? And what are we gonna name him? We're gonna name him Aubrey Drake. Why are we gonna name him Drake? Well, that was my stage name when I was in LA.
Wow.
My stage name was Drake Madison.
Wow.
And when you look up Drake Madison, you're not gonna find nothing. But I would go more as to say, like, bro, all of these people is high level elites, and they play a different game, and they live in a whole different world than we live. So when people talk about Drake, tell me this story first. Tell me you did your due diligence on his father being an actor, and then let's not even talk about Drake being an actor on Degrassi. Drake is no different from the boy from Hustle and Flow. Terrence is his name Terrence Howard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You right,
Drake,
man.
Yeah. Drake and Terrence Howard is the same type of person, bro. So when you look at Drake,
whoop that trick.
Yeah.
Whoop that trick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same type of energy. So I just be feeling crazy when people talk about Drake as if Quentin Miller, the Quentin Miller debacle, all of his songs being referenced. Like Lil Yachty, right? He got Lil Yachty writing his songs, man. That's like me getting a 12-year-old right now to come up with a lecture for me so I can preach it to the like, well, come on, man, what is happening? But we acting like he a real MC and a lyricist and he got clout.
That's super wild work, though.
It's dirty, nasty work.
That your team would allow you to pay a nigga like Lil Yachty to write for you. Like
that is crazy.
That's crazy. I would like to know how that conversation went down, right? Like, how did you say, like, yo, I just gave this nigga 20,000 for 16 bars, and niggas listen to those 16 bars and be like,
"Oh, this is it right here."
Like,
this is it right here.
This is it right here, bro.
We out the hood with this.
Put that out, bro. Put that out. Mm-hmm. You want to go in the book right now?
It's funny because it's like Drake is kind of eroding the competitiveness of rap. You know what I mean? Because rap the one genre where, like, you know, if Drake redid all of Tupac's album, you know what I mean? The album Dear Mom, Me Against the World. If Drake redid that whole album, people be like, what the fuck is this? But if Beyonce redo a couple of hits from Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, you know, people are like, oh, this is so great.
The covers are so amazing.
Rap was based off of being original, you know what I mean? It was about being hip, you know what I mean? And he kind of approaching rap like a singer would, like a pop artist would.
And
it's gross to me.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. If I'm taking it to the esoteric, I'm going to say that symbolically, since Drake is the dragon, Draco, he is the symbol for the end of hip hop.
Wait.
We all know it.
In the Chinese year,
he's the symbol for the end of hip hop as we all know it, bro. Like that shit that we grew up on, that shit that we purist about, all of that shit that we call our culture, quote unquote, whatever the fuck that is, right? I think Drake is the signal for the end of that, bro. Because y'all let him infiltrate for 15 years, bro. 15 years he's been on the inside, bro. He got all the secrets. And like Hood said, this is something much deeper than rap. So I don't even need to go any further than that. But I think he is the symbol for the end of hip hop as we once knew it.
Right. No, you spot on, because, you know, even the $400 million contract, the number 400 in Hebrew is Taf, which is the last letter. And then we just see Revelations. The dragon represents the path of totality. This is an ending, you know, and every ending is a beginning. But you know, Drake ain't the dragon to be paying attention to. You know what I mean? You got a dragon at the base of your spine. You know what I mean? And you letting it live its life like a worm. Go ahead
You forcing it.
and
Nope. Say it
go,
right. Forcing
yeah,
it to live like a worm.
yeah. And go ahead and, you know, uncoil that dragon. You know what I mean? And
Let that thing turn into a caterpillar.
Man, yeah, and then let it be reborn with wings, man. Because your path of totality ain't on TV and ain't on social media.
I know one thing. I started, since we had that discussion with Hood the other day. I started looking up for trips to Serpent Mountain. I gotta get up there, player. Not to
So
cut your
Tav
wisdom,
is
but I gotta
the
get up there.
22nd and final letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The number is 400. The meaning is truth, a sign, or life or death. That's deep. Drake signed the Scorpion Kings deal with Universal. Aubrey Graham was issued a check for $400 million in a deal that includes everything from song recordings to visual projects. So yeah, that's not even they playing right in our face, but I guess we wouldn't necessarily be able to see it if we didn't study the Hebrew.
And think of the guy. What is his name? Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
Lucian Grange.
His name. It was another person. I want to say like back in Renaissance time, but it was another Lucian that was
Terrence Howard is named Lucian on the goddamn Empire.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yes, he is. That's the synchronicity right there. Keep going, big bro. Keep going.
But there was a Lucian that was I don't know the word for it, but he was big on satire. You know what I mean? And big on like comedy and big on like basically making fun of like spirituality and religion. And it just makes me think, you know, this person that gave Drake this contract, you know, was the CEO of one of the biggest music conglomerates, you know what I mean? Like
the most powerful person in the music business, period.
Come on, man.
That's crazy. But then the etymology would be the light bringer. Like, what is going on, man? Who is he in antiquity, though?
Lucian of Samosata.
Yeah, it's Lucian of Samosata. Yeah, I was just about to say it.
See, he ridiculed superstition, religious practices, and a belief in the paranormal.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. This is literally a mockery of the science. This is a mockery of the work. I mean, he's doing his work. You get what I'm saying? He's doing his work, but
yeah, like to be mad at either one of these guys would be to like totally miss the point completely anyway, right? Like you're not even on the same stage if you're concerned about the players on the stage, right? Like you're looking at it down from the nosebleeds, like you're not.
Come on, man.
You don't have the skybox view. You need the skybox view.
His dialogue, Lover of Lies, makes fun of people who believe in the supernatural and contains the oldest known version of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, so he's making satires. But when you think about Drake, Drake is satirical. When you like look at Drake and tell me that this is not a satire of black culture, just like Drake, just I don't know. I'm gonna just type Drake and fucking like hold on. I'm gonna show you a
More
real
than
satire. I'm gonna show you
half his shit. More than half his shit is at least minstrelsy, bro. At the very least, more than half his shit.
Yes.
Tell me that that's not satirical.
Bro, like what is the purpose of it?
Why would you do that? Right? And I'll
Because
be
he stay in
saying
the
shit.
house.
Like nobody would knowingly do that and think it was fly. Right? Like
Now what is satire? Because I went to public school. I don't even know what satire means. I just said it. Real talk. The use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices. Listen, man, particularly in the context of contemporary politics or topical issues. Now, exhibit fucking A, bro.
Drizzle, sprinkle, sprinkle, soft guy era shit is satire. That's satire, bro.
Drizzle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
That shit is satire. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the light skinned ball name that do all the minstrel videos, bro? Man, what's his name, bro? Anyway, when I come up with it, I'll say it. But it's all satire. This is satire. Like they're making fun of the fun, right? Like they're clearly making fun of the culture, bro. Because there's nobody you would respect on your block like that, right? Like you beat him up immediately, bro. Like you beat him up immediately. Like, I don't care what block you on, you beat him up immediately. What, you got yellow berets? Like, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Like, you would beat him up by mistake. You would.
Yeah, man.
First of all, ain't nobody ever had platinum teeth, bro. So this don't count. Like, ain't nobody ever had platinum teeth, bro. Like, the niggas that got those fly teeth couldn't afford platinum teeth, bro. Like, I promise you. Look, I promise you. This is so extreme, bro. The barrettes with the platinum teeth just kills me. Look,
the Jerry curl.
Bro,
with the Jerry curl.
Bro, I swear to God.
Say no nigga ever.
I swear to God, bro. Like, yo, this is different, man. Bro. Like,
I mean,
I didn't even know what satire mean. I didn't even know what it meant, bro.
It's like so much going on, like the Baphomet.
Batch, King Batch. That's what I'm talking about. King Batch, bro.
King Bach.
King Bach. He does all the minstrel. All his videos are minstrel and satire. If y'all not sure what I'm talking about, just look at King Bach.
Okay. To me, it was a lot going on in that picture, like the Baphomet.
Man, that's really what it's about. It's all a secret society, and it's all like planned and really kind of like illustrated to the point that like a lot of songs that we hear, like I was in the car today and I was hearing that Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion song, and I was like, damn, I wonder how much they had to pay to get this on the radio, because I can't see nobody intentionally like wanting to hear that. But when it comes to certain songs, they willing to put the money behind it. Maybe a comeback in the tour because Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion going on tour. So they need songs to kind of promote and pump the tour. And the reality of it, though, is that nobody actually likes this shit. You know, but it is what is being promoted, is what's being sold to us. And at the end of the day, it's like one of the most sinister things. But once again, it's all supernatural and paranormal according to Lucian, nigga. Like Lucian
Yeah.
is man. Listen,
Yeah.
it is deep.
It's like one of them things, like, man, like in the streets, like, you know, when somebody, you know, just they try you just to see what your response gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, I remember a good friend telling me about, you know, he sold pharmaceuticals, but he sold the herbals. You know what I mean? And he was telling me how, like, the older homies was like, hey man, you should start, you know, selling out that crack. and basically he was just like, no man, that ain't for me. Like, the fuck, I ain't doing that. And he was just like, the dude commended him, like, good job, you know what I mean? Like, you know who you are enough to say no to this. You know what I mean? Whereas he know people that, you know, took the opportunity and, you know, never heard from him again. You know, it just seems like that, you know, they just put so much stuff out and it's just like, let's see what they gonna bite on. You know what I mean? It's almost like they just fishing and they got the money to waste. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
bro, I can't believe you just said that right now, man. Look at this shit, man. What the fuck, bro? What is going on with you? Look what I zoomed into. Hold on. Y'all see that?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, it's just us on the screen.
All right. Y'all see
Oh man. Hey, we can't make this up, man.
You can't make it up, man.
We can't make this up, bro.
Champion of philosophy. He's the champion. The champion of philosophy. Yeah, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci on this one. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Shit.
The fisherman.
Look that up, man.
The fisherman.
Entertainment.
I gotta Lucian describes himself as the champion of philosophy. Who does that sound like, man? Who does that sound like, man?
Son.
And they making Drake be the greatest person because he's putting out all of this music and it's streaming so many different places. But that's because the machine is behind them. We all know that, right? They basically could do that with anybody, but they putting him up and propping him up as the king. And it's like, nah, man. Like Kendrick, and I feel like he about to do, and people say, y'all ask the question like, is this Nas and Jay-Z? And I would say, yeah, this is a continuation of the Nas and Jay-Z, just
That's
because
what I was going to say too.
Nas came out with Hip Hop Is Dead, right? In 1999, right? But
no,
it was being prophetic.
Like 2006, I think.
2006, okay.
Yeah.
I think
I was in middle school.
No. Okay, Ether and all of that was like 2001.
Stillmatic. Yes, 2001.
Yeah. But later on, after all of that beef and shit died down, he did the Hip Hop Is Dead, which was a crazy concept in 2006. But 2024, that's pretty much spot on. But I think like Drake is letting, like, what Kendrick Lamar is about to do to Drake, I feel like it's about to be surgical, and it's going to be the same as what Nas did to Jay-Z, right? Or what Tupac did to Biggie. Because I was alive when Biggie and Tupac was beefing. When Hit 'Em Up came out and Biggie didn't respond.
The first seconds of Hit 'Em Up, man.
It's just so crazy. Like,
the first things Pac said on that.
That's why I fucked your bitch. It's so crazy. And then you seen the pictures with him and Faith. It was like, yo, this is the craziest shit you ever could think of. But it kind of ruined Biggie's rep to the point that Puffy did one of the most brazen things ever, hired the motherfucking people to kill Biggie. And then at the end of the day, what's going down right now, the dude that killed Tupac got arrested for killing Tupac. And then Puff Daddy's houses got raided. Y'all didn't peep that. Nobody said nothing about it though.
I
Like,
was saying that. I was saying that a few years ago. Yeah, I said it was a cross payment thing that went on. They said Suge paid for Big's killers and Pac paid for Pac's killers. Puff paid for Pac's killers. That's what they said it was. I'm just saying. But go ahead, big bro.
but at the end of the day, he got arrested, and then they raid his house. All of this is all connected to deep CIA levels upon levels of East Coast, West Coast beef tied into the gang warfare. And you like, well, why is it getting this deep? Because it all comes back to the bottom line. What you said earlier, the song got 9 million streams, meaning that if none of this music comes out, we're not talking about hip hop on this live stream.
No.
All of the podcasts, all of the YouTube videos, all of the dissections, Black Dot talk, like, all of the old school hip hop niggas coming out talking about all of this shit. Well, hip hop is dead. And soon as this shit die down, which it is, because it always dies down,
5-6 days. 5-6 days.
you're gonna have to deal with the residual effects that this art form that many Black people love. They're actually going to have to put it to rest and figure out different ways to digest music. Fortunately for us, though, it is a variety of different types of musics you could digest. But this hip hop shit is just not for an intelligent being because of the magic that's being put down on it. But go ahead.
No, I think you spot on. I don't need to add nothing to that.
It's definitely a lot of magic that's put into it, It just made me think about like what entities are at play. You know what I mean? Like what agendas are these entities? What are their agenda that they're trying to get fulfilled, through this music? You know what I mean? Like, and just take a step back and think about it. You ain't gotta be a super quote unquote spiritual person. Just investigate the stuff that you listen to on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like I ain't got nothing against Megan Thee Stallion, but I only like 2 of her songs. Because all the other shit sounds just like those 2 songs. But it's like a new song will come out, she shake her ass on Instagram. You know what I mean? Everybody else do it too. And then a new song come out, she shake her ass on Instagram, everybody do it too. And it's just nothing really changes. You know what I mean? And then you get a little sprinkle of back and forth with another artist that don't like her. You know what I mean? I think it's all for attention. You know what I mean? Our attention is very valuable because our attention, it feeds the machine. You know what I mean? Our attention is food for the machine. And I don't think we're aware of that, to a certain level because we having fun, you know what I mean? Because it's entertainment, you know what I mean? Because it ain't that big of a deal, Jabri, but it's up to you, man. You could do your own investigation on these kind of things.
I think you could do a simple like Dracula, and then Dracula tied into Anne Rice mythologies. But then if you watch The Queen of the Damned, they really do the vampires are making music, right? Lestat, he come from the dead, and he don't like do nothing but join a band and get clout, right? Get the attention of the masses. But then when he does, remember if you watch the movie, his first concert, he's like, I'm calling all the vampires to the stage and we gonna fight. Right?
Yeah.
And then he gets on there and then all the vampires come and they just start fighting on stage. I think it's just a deeper metaphor of nigga, we regular niggas on YouTube shooting the shit. But to get to the level of a Drake, a Kendrick, a Future, you are dealing with some higher level parasitic, vampiric, angelic. Just it runs the whole spectrum. That's why Biggie died. That's why Pac died. That's why X died. That's why Takeoff died. You know, because it's not a game and it is very spiritual. And it can fuck up and fuck with your mind if you listen to it.
That's why my
when
nigga
women
Chinks drugs. Don't give my nigga Chinks drugs. They killed my nigga.
Chinks, stack bundles
Stack
from the
bundles.
same hood. Somebody said if you wanted to know the greatest rappers of all time, all you have to do is look at the obituary.
Damn.
That's the sad truth.
And
Big L.
Shit, 2 of my top 5 is dead. Prodigy and Tupac.
Prodigy. Pimp C.
Nipsey
Hussle.
I think Jadakiss, he got a verse where it's like, dead rappers get better promotion.
You noticing a theme? All unapologetic niggas.
Yeah.
It's that COINTELPRO.
Triple X Dacion too, right? He was
that's what I'm saying.
He was unapologetically like him, like he was him. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody had asked something earlier in the show, and I want to get clarification on it. What's with Sidereal Libras embodying being a Scorpio? I don't think he was being I don't think he was saying when he titled his album Scorpio. I don't think he was even because October 24th is that even Scorpio in Western astrology? I don't.
No, I think that's one day later. It ends on the 23rd, or the 23rd or the 22nd. I think it ends.
I'm about to do a quick search. If it is, it's on the cusp.
Yeah, it's on the cusp. If he identifies as a Scorpion or a Scorpio, I don't necessarily think it because I think he might even be doing both because he put out Certified Lover Boy. No, he put out Scorpio and then he put out Certified Lover Boy.
It seems like an evolution though, doesn't it? It seems like he was figuring it out as he was going.
I was born on August 23rd. So I was born on the cusp of Leo and Virgo. So I would incorporate Leo and Virgo in my aesthetic and understanding. So Certified Lover Boy could be Libra, marriage, relationships. And Scorpio could just be, Scorpio, right? But a cusp baby don't never really resonate with one side or the other more than he resonate with both of them. But I think we get fixated and focused on the Scorpion aspect if we gonna really look at Drake. I mean, Drake is a nigga that, like I say, Scorpio represents the bank. So Drake, he represents that, especially when rappers are concerned.
So tropical Libra changeover October 22nd.
Okay, so he would be
October 24th. So he's technically a Scorpio.
He would be a Scorpio.
But Scorpio, such a small sign, you know what I mean? In sidereal, you know what I mean? And the truth of it all, So
yeah, he is a Libra in sidereal for sure.
Yes,
because most people are not. Most people are not Scorpios.
Yes,
real quick, big bro. Explain to the people what's the difference between sidereal and tropical.
Well, just at the end of the day, sidereal is the actual planets, and then tropical would be 24 degrees behind or ahead, depending on how you look at it. But at the end of the day, we'll study sidereal because it's more accurate. But sidereal is just more aligned to Vedic astrology, so it's not that complicated or not that different. It just seems like that at first, but really it's just a progression of your chart to make it more accurate so you can understand it. When I do readings and I read people their sidereal chart, 9 times out of 10, not 10 times out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, people say that the sidereal chart is more accurate. So once again, It's a battle of the Jewish versus Jew. Who is the real Jew? They want to keep the truth hidden. It's finally being revealed to the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really feel that, but it's kind of like when people say the government is fucking with the weather. I always think like, what the fuck you want me to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we going to do about a global conspiracy?
Hmm.
Yeah,
I just
it's not necessarily the conversation that would actually bear any real benefit or be conducive to any parties taking part within it because it's not coming from a place of any sort of foundation whatsoever. It's like you want to ask about the consequence when we were trying to have the conversation about this before it happened, and now you want like it's a crazy circle. But yeah, that doesn't fit together. Like
but I would say, as far as Scorpio goes, his Saturn is definitely in Scorpio, and his Scorpio is opposed Kendrick Lamar's Midhaven, right, which would be in Taurus. So their alignment is very much tied into that Scorpio energy, where they got a lot of karma between them somehow. Like everybody know, if you don't know, Drake put Kendrick on. Like Kendrick is
Yeah.
very talented, but there are millions of talented rappers in the world. You need a cosign. Drake gave Kendrick a whole fucking interlude by itself and would put him onto the mainstream, and he took it and ran with it and never looked back. So if Drake's Saturn is opposed Kendrick's Midhaven, that's what it looked like. So basically, when you look at this chart, Kendrick Lamar, although he's advanced and probably more a better person than Drake, he still owes his career to Drake. That's why he have to come so meticulous and so hard with the bars. And now think about it. If Drake was just nothing to him, no karmic tie, no karmic bond, he would just be like, he wouldn't even care. He wouldn't even put effort into it. But the reality, the Saturn opposed the Midhaven in the transit, oh, you owe me. You know what I'm saying? Like what Kendrick loves the most is his career, his home, his peace, and part of his psyche. He knows he owes that to Drake. So that's a deeper layer into the beef because we can beat up on Drake all day long, but at certain levels to a battle that you got to understand that both
and
challengers are formidable.
and on that level, then that means psychologically at some point he actually hates himself because if that man is responsible for everything that you have and you just gave him everything that you got in the rap battle, um, yeah, and it's a bit disingenuous, right? Because that means you're privy to that man's inner workings just because you have been a part of his inner workings since your beginning, right? So, um, yeah, for his second diss track to reference that he knows more people that are going against him or willing to go against him within his own crew. Yeah, that's a bit disingenuous because you're a part of his crew essentially. Like
Hmm.
like you're essentially a part of his crew, bro. Like if your career comes from this man, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So there's a level of jealousy that exists there.
Yeah, from the get go. Because look, Drake is born in 1986. Kendrick is born in 1987. They're basically contemporaries, but the audiences, because the first tour that Kendrick ever went on was the Drake tour, and the audiences that Drake was putting Kendrick in front of, Kendrick had never seen that. So once again, I imagine that Kendrick would have been successful regardless, but you need this industry is all about cosigns and collaboration. So once again, when you talk about hit songs, Poetic Justice featuring Drake, right? These are monumental moments that Kendrick Lamar has to reflect on, and he got to look at his platinum plaque and see featuring Drake right there. You feel me?
So you got to
So
see him every day. You got to see him every day then, because you know he got that somewhere in his house.
somewhere in his house, subconsciously, in the back of his mind, is Drake. So he's trying to cut ties and he's trying to separate himself from Drake. But you've already created the karma when you was on the interlude on Take Care, right? You already created the karma when you went on tour. You already created the karma when you featured on Poetic Justice, so forth and so on. So with all of this being said, when people have beef, right, they say hate comes from love, right? It would have to be an initial love because you can't just hate nobody that you didn't love first. So this is
And
what's
and
this is what I
and
see being
and the
played out.
rumor and just a little cherry to go with that. The rumor says that this current part of the beef started because he didn't ask him to be on third person shooter first. So
Fact.
because he asked J. Cole first and then tried to call him, he had an issue with that. That's why he wasn't on the song. That's why I like that came out. But that's just a little nugget to add. Something.
Right.
Like
Another observation.
it's too super weird, like I'm sorry, not to cut your wisdom. It's just too
Oh, you
super
good?
weird. It's too super weird. Like, J. Cole is also biracial, right? Like it's super weird.
I
Right.
don't like that. I don't like the term biracial because in essence we're all biracial because we don't
Right?
know
Right?
our ancestors from 30 generations down, 40
Exactly.
generations down. If we counted our ancestors from 40 generations, it would be fucking a million people. All of those people enter into us as our ancestors. So when people say biracial, I just think it's like I just
It's
think
a
they haven't
it's a
really
it's a it's a misnomer. It's a
yeah, you
misnomer.
haven't
Sort of
socially
like
evolved.
African
Yeah,
American. Sort of
it's a
like
social
African
political
American.
term.
Yeah.
Sort of like
That's all
African
it
American.
is.
That's why, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like African American. Like it's the same thing to me. Like it's a misnomer. Like it don't make no sense.
It's just like how we started the show. It's part of the illusion. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like Kendrick really ain't that different from these two quote unquote biracial men.
Right.
Really not that different.
Yeah. I think like when we look at anybody, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and we put them on a pedestal for whatever reason, we're forgetting that that's not our God. So when you look at Revelation chapter 12, verse 3, it says, there appeared another wonder in heaven. Well, heaven could just correlate to the mind. And when we look at another wonder and behold a great red dragon, that's anything that we see outside of ourselves having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns. When we pedestalize these people, it's almost like they become immeasurable things of success, and it's all an illusion because it all reverts back to you and what you're doing in your life. And it'll never not be that. We can always sit back and be like, well, these people over here and these people over there. It's all manipulation and all mind control. So that's kind of how I really look at it, as like the grandest illusion being played out. And of course, spiritual people, they're going to be the first people to break it down and get wrapped up into it. But I hope like people watching this channel, people watching this video, that they begin to look at it from a different perspective, right? even if we're all Jews and all of this type of stuff, what are you going to personally do about it? Like, are you observing Sabbath if you the real Jew?
Right. Right. Can you say the first 10 Hebrew letters?
Do you know Hebrew letters?
Yeah.
Are the women willing to walk around 75% clothed at all times?
Oh shit! Oh shit,
Are
serpent.
are the men willing to walk around 80% to 75% clothed at all times? Like, is that a thing that we all willing to do?
Is the men ready to like take care of their family? Is the women ready to stay locked into one man and be only concerned about the family and the household and the community and the religion? If we the real Jews, right? Because I live in fucking, I'm right next to the goddamn Southfield, Michigan. Look up the Jewish population in Southfield, Michigan. You're gonna see that's probably like Grand Central Station. I've never seen it before. But when I say these people operate on a different level and they do all observe Sabbath, meaning that they're not in their cars, there is no technology, there is no nothing. They walking everywhere, right? But they're with their families. It's a wife and a husband, and the wife is not looking bad. She's not sexy. She in some shit that she got from a fucking thrift store, a ugly ass dress, right? I want my bitch. I want my bitch. Listen, I want my bitch to wear the most ugliest shit known to man. So I don't want a nigga to look at my girl.
And she got a pair of sneakers on with that shit.
Listen, a pair of sneakers, nigga. A green dress with sneakers on and a head wrap, multicolored hair wrap that just look any old kind of way on her head. That's how they look, but I understand it because that's a man's wife. Shouldn't nobody be lusting over your wife, and your wife shouldn't even put herself in a position to be lusted after. I gotta look good for myself. No, you married now. But we the real Jews. Because it'd be different if you say, we just black people and we lost and we in our ignorance, then wear leggings, show your ass, get dressed up, look cute, throw on the makeup, put on the wigs. But don't tell me you the real Jews and you still doing everything that fucking the Babylonians do.
Mm-hmm. You're not adhering nor submitting to any type of discipline.
Zero. No discipline whatsoever. Cause the man gotta follow God, and then he like, well, God told me this, babe. I ain't about to follow that nigga. Not today. Not today, nigga. It's Sabbath, but I gotta get on these emails. But we following God today. It's Sabbath. We cutting the TV off. No, I'm about to watch my shows. It's boring. I do it another day. Tell God to understand shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's going to be. But we the real Jews though. Niggas love saying that. It's cap to me though. I don't think niggas even believe it when they say it.
It's that selective outrage, right? Shout out to Chris Rock, bro. Like, it's that selective outrage. Yeah, people pick and choose who they want to be their savior. I mean,
days down the rabbit hole. Y'all got anything we want to talk about that we haven't talked about? Anybody in the chat want to add on some things? Any questions before we get up out of here? It's the late night. We don't want to keep y'all too long. And please, we got the pinned comment in the Discord. Any ideas for shows, any topics? If y'all want to be on the panel, join the Discord. Leave us, just chop it up with us in the Discord because we want to grow this channel and we want to expand. But the reality of our expansion is going to include you and your input, your conversation. And it's nothing serious. We just want to know what's going on and just having casual spiritual conversation. The only rule that we have in the Discord is no fucking or no skimming. Okay.
Yeah,
But other than that,
no sex in the champagne room.
Type shit. But join the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, with this Drake being meaning dragon, and this being the year of the dragon and what dragons represent mystically.
Yeah, we forgot to get to that. You forgot to get to that.
It's almost like this is like a message or indicator of like it's time for you to get deeper into your spiritual work, and it may take you to start learning some warfare tactics, on how to like defend yourself in the midst of what's going on in this world, because it's so much that's going on around us that we are unaware of. And it's a lot it's a lot of bidding that we do that's not for us. I'll just put it like that. And it takes, diligence, as far as like meditation, working on yourself and studying yourself, so you're not captivated by, rap beef, because if you really sat down with Kendrick, you really sat down with Drake, you're just another motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? You're just another person, but like the glamour and the illustriousness that, the music industry, the satirical music industry can do to a person, man. Just think about that.
Think about
it's
that.
Almost like the Eddie Murphy movie Trading Places. You know what I mean? They got a bum off the street and they put him in a mansion, and all of a sudden he was made to know everything about the stock market. It's no different. You know what I mean? The industry can get anybody funky ass off the street, turn them into a megastar, and they go down in history.
Right.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Come on, man.
It's real bad now. It's real bad now with the algorithms.
You gonna tell me Tekashi 6ix9ine was a real artist? You gonna tell me that?
No, he was straight up CIA.
Okay. That's why I brought him up. That he falls in that category. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Drake reminded me of Milli Vanilli. Same thing, but
it's the same thing.
It's just like, man, just build your own energy up, you know what I mean, and become that star in your life, you know what I mean, because you came here for a reason, and don't let, for one, an illusion of someone who is fulfilling their purpose stop you from fulfilling yours or completing yours.
Bars.
And
that's what it is.
And it's a lot of wars, a lot of back and forth going on. That's the internal battle that you have to go through on a daily basis. Don't think that you just going, the war is won, I'm done. Nah. Even if the war is won, you still got to continuously prepare for war, protect yourself, find out how you can go on an attack at some point. Because like in my work, it's like, oh man, I'm about to go and hunt succubus. I ain't ready for that. I'm talking about hanging them, holding them in fire, you know what I mean? And just remembering my ignorance, but
I think that's apropos, right? Talking about war. It's almost like a war with self, and it's not really about the winner. It's more or less about the battle and the lesson, because to be invested in something that has absolutely nothing to do with you completely takes away from everything that has to do with you. And like, these guys are good, right? They got mansions and, cars, and they take vacations when they want to, right? Like, they good regardless. And psychologically, it's about getting to that point with yourself and your relationship with your own success and your own drive for said success. Like, anything that you notice or you witness is only a mirror of yourself anyway. So if it wasn't possible for you to obtain that thing, you wouldn't be able to witness that thing. So, spirit is funny that way. So, I think this shit is about a broader aspect of understanding that has to do with society's so-called quote-unquote temperature, so to speak. And it's about where you're really at. Like, my brother finished his dissertation by talking about war, and there's an actual war going on. Like a real war going on. And Drake and Kendrick Lamar are having a rap beef. So I think once you put it into the realm of perspective and you take it outside of the realm of perception, right? Because perception belongs to you, right? For you to get a complete and holistic view of a thing, you have to have a proper perspective of that thing, right? And once you evolve yourself emotionally from this, you'll see what it is for what it really is. But you gotta divest yourself from it.
All right, y'all. We got this shit came out 2 minutes ago. We got Drake's response.
Word?
Yeah, we about to play it live on the show.
Wow. That's what's up.
2 minutes ago.
That's what's
2 minutes fresh off the presses. It's called Family Matters. It's 7 minutes and 37 seconds. So we're gonna sit back and vibe to this as a family. And then we're gonna react. Yeah, we're gonna react. So I'll see y'all in 7 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm gonna roll up this J and see what the boy is talking about.
I'm gonna do the same.
Nigga, I said it. I know that you mad. I've emptied the clip over friendlier jabs. I was really.
You know.
Wow. Yeah.
I was zoning out. It wasn't a hit 'em up.
It wasn't.
Hit 'em up set the bar forever.
It wasn't an easy.
But I thought it was creative how he had the van demolished, kind of like a reference to Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. At this point, it just seemed like they just trolling each other.
Like, I don't know where they're getting at. Like, I feel like if any of them had a kill shot, they would have used it by now.
Yeah.
But them this ain't boxing, nigga. Like, this is hip hop. So you gotta come with your ether, your takeover. Like they go subliminal. Nas and Jay-Z went subliminal for years. But when they dissed each other, They dissed each other.
Yeah.
Takeover was when me and my mans listened to Takeover. Like people say, Ether like was better than Takeover,
Not
but
for me. Not for me.
Takeover was one of them songs that it just gave me just the
It gave me chills, bro.
feeling in the world.
I had goosebumps listening to that shit at work, bro.
That
Like
was
I
probably
got
like the
goosebumps.
best song. Like the beat, everything. It just was like, yo, this nigga Jay-Z really setting himself apart. Like
That shit was theatrical. That shit was everything, bro.
yeah, it was a build. It was just like it's the first song on the album. It's
a build up to it.
Niggas know Jay-Z don't like Nas, and Nas got to respond, right? So Nas did counter, but I feel like if I punch you first and I knock you out, of course you're going to swing and hit me back. Yeah.
It don't matter what you say when you come to, right?
Yeah,
like
you going to hit me back.
Yeah, after you come out of your coma, obviously you gonna hit me back.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah, no, he took a page out of Tupac book.
That's what everybody fails to admit when they talk about that battle. They never talk about the first punch thrown, right? Like they never talk about like if that was a knockout punch or not. They always talk about Nas and Ether, which on itself, on its face, is a dope ass record, which would knock most people out. But this is coming after you were already knocked out, bro. Like, bro. Takeover was a masterpiece. That's it.
Yeah. The Blueprint was a masterpiece. So you wouldn't never say the Blueprint is better than Stillmatic. No, you can't say that, bro. But you might say Ether is better than the Takeover, but I just feel like you might be biased or you might not like Jay-Z. But Ether is not better than the Takeover. It might be more sensational. Like the beat, you gonna play me Ether's beat and then the Takeover beat? Like, nah, bro. The two different beats. Like one sound like a kid made it, and the other one sound like a fucking the end of the world, nigga. like it sound like the apocalypse.
That should sound like a movie score, my nigga. It was a movie score.
Yeah, it definitely was with the come on, we run New York. Like that was epic. But that's what
man. I like Ether more, man. I like Ether more. But I was born in 92.
I think what he's saying ultimately is it depends on which record you heard first, right? If you heard Ether first, you couldn't listen to Takeover. You're already biased. It doesn't matter. That's how good Ether is, right? But if you're talking about the battle, you have to hear Takeover first because Takeover started the beef actually on wax.
But why was Ether so good? Because Takeover was magnificent. So he had to literally go deep within his bag. So when people say Nas won or Ether was a great song, I'm happy that they say that because I didn't want Nas' career to be over forever. I wanted him to come back and fight back. And I was happy for Nas.
That's what I want.
But I knew that Jay-Z was that nigga. Like, and I knew like nobody, like Jay-Z was the king of rap moving forward. Like he solidified that with the Takeover, and that's what he lived out, right? He lived out being the king of rap, right? Regardless of anything. He ended up signing Nas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nas didn't sign him, right? So I feel like Jay-Z won the war, Nas won the battle.
Yeah, like that's the biggest boss move of them all, because he also ended up signing Cameron and Jim Jones and Fat Joe. Like he's done it to all of the old nemesis from the past, which is the ultimate boss move, by the way.
But I know why people. I get that people like Ether though. I understand.
I understand too. Just like I understand people like Eminem's verse on Renegade better than Ho's verse, but I don't think it's better than Ho's verse.
I think they was the same.
Are you crazy?
I think they was on the same level.
I don't
Eminem's
think
verse.
Eminem.
Oh
I
my
don't think.
god.
But this goes to what you were saying earlier. I might be biased because I'm ultimately a Jay-Z fan. Like I might be biased, you know.
Now,
Like
Eminem verse on Renegade was one of the greatest rap
Like that
verses
was
of that
gotta be
decade.
one of you could play Eminem's verse on Renegade today and be fucking wild and floored.
Eminem murdered you on your own shit.
That was a true line. That was a true line because I don't even think Jay-Z could rap better than Eminem at that point in time. Even though he was at the top of his game, he figured out a different way with like the beats and the producers. Like Jay-Z was the best.
I'll say this. I'll say it would depend on the formatting of the song. Because the way that Jay was flowing on that song is not even the best Jay. Like I think Jay, I think Jay was doing some hood shit, and the reason why I relate to it is because the lines from Jay shit, like I could close my eyes and picture myself doing what Jay is talking about. I couldn't close my eyes and picture myself doing any of the shit that Eminem was talking about, even though Eminem's shit was way more clever, obviously, and it was way more sophisticated, right? But I just related more to what Hov was saying because I'm a Hov fan. So like I said, I'm biased, so you can't ask me. Like I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? Like I would not say it. Like I would not admit it. Like I would say Ether is a better song if you listen to Ether first. Like I said, right? But if you listen to Takeover first, you wouldn't even want to go to Ether. And that's without even being a Jay-Z fan. Like you don't listen, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't put those two things together. They don't work, unfortunately, right? Like the problem is it was the Super Ugly song, right? Remember when he said condoms on my back seat and his mom's called him and made him apologize to Nas and all of that? Like it was that song that they were putting up against Ether. In which obviously that song is not a superior song to Ether, obviously.
But that was the thing with the beef. Like Jay-Z had 2 songs.
Yeah, because people were coming to the battle late. That's what we were trying to explain to people. If you come to the battle late, you can't blame that on one of the contestants. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z hit first. If I throw a right hook and I hit you with a combination, it's not about what you do after I hit you with the combination.
The fight is over.
The fight is over.
And so you can knock my ass out, and you're supposed to knock me out because I done fucked you up already. But my job
you had time to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, this shit. You know what I'm saying?
He had time to think about it too.
Listen, man.
You muted right now.
Rap beefs is to destroy another nigga's career.
Decimating.
Yeah, Jay-Z did that. Nas didn't do. Tupac decimated Biggie's career. We didn't know Life After Death was going to be a mega smash hit because we didn't know Biggie was going to die. Before Biggie died, we figured Biggie was dead in the water because Tupac put out Hit 'Em Up. And you got to understand, when Hit 'Em Up came out, there was no response ever. There is no response to Hit 'Em Up. So basically, Pop won that battle in the eyes of many.
Yeah. And I remember listening to Hot 97 that night and hearing Lil Season talk about how they talked Biggie out of responding. And I was like, the story sounds fictitious. And I think there's something else at play here. Because if Biggie would have responded, it would have been totally different. But Biggie never got to respond.
I think Biggie was on some J. Cole shit.
No,
yeah, I take that too.
Biggie had to respond subliminally because it was a political thing. He had already promised them he wasn't going to go at Homeboy.
Yeah, because, I mean, Biggie wasn't hostile. wasn't hostile. He
Nah,
wasn't,
but
you
he
know what I
was
mean?
smart.
Like,
He was smart though. He was very
yeah,
intelligent.
he
So
was smart, he was
he put
talented.
it in his rhymes with double entendres and fictitious stories, you know, loosely compared to, you know, the person in conversation Tupac. Like the Niggas Bleed song is loosely about Tupac. Um
Pray for my downfall.
Pray for My Downfall. Um the Who Shot Your joint was made before Pac got shot, so that doesn't fit. That was a Puff thing. That's how. That's the first feather that made people believe that Puff was behind everything. Because Puff put that song out after Pac got hit up in New York on purpose, even though that song was made before. That was
But
Puff
let's
shit.
let's scale this back. Let's scale this conversation back because what hip hop is, what makes money in hip hop is beef. Period. Point blank. It's a whole genre, a subgenre of hip hop called drill music. So St. Louis, Memphis, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Florida, Jacksonville, Miami, New York, Boston, Philadelphia. Okay. Now, all of these cities that we've named have black populations of teenage men and women that ascribe to drill rap. Drill rap is essentially beef rap. You don't just make a drill rap about your day, right? You make a drill rap about a op, right?
Somebody
And that op,
rain down on them.
and then you can watch YouTube and they be rapping, Little Tay Tay get killed with the way way. And then like Little Tay Tay, real name, Tayron Jordan, 16, died from gang violence. You like, oh wow, they really putting it in rap. But these kids are operating within the algorithm of YouTube. YouTube is going to promote Lil Tay Tay down the way got killed with the KK quicker than they going to promote, man, I'm just an artistic, creative black boy putting out introspective thoughts. They going to kick you to the side. So to get the numbers, they're going to do the beef shit because that's what's going to get the attention and so forth and so on. So Drake and Kendrick Lamar are simply trying to revive a dead art form that when we said, fuck Drake, when we as a collective said, you know, this Chief Keef kid, he's not that bad. We killed it. We killed it because we should have said, nah, he's smoking Tuka. Tuka is a 16-year-old little boy that got gunned down at a bus stop. No, we can't promote this nigga. We can't just Kanye, don't do that remix with that boy. Just don't touch that drill shit.
Yep.
They didn't do that. They put the fire to the flame, and now every community, your sons, your daughters, like drill music.
Yep.
To some form or extent. And it's the deepest, worst spell because it's okay with a black boy killing another black boy and nobody going bat an eye.
And just to go on top of what my big bro is saying, like it's not even about the words, it's just the frequency of the drum music. So when we talk about drill music, like once you get
the beats.
Once you get lulled into the drum, repetition of the drum within that song, like you're already in it, right? So it had nothing to do with the words. Like they could say anything. They could talk about Mary had a little lamb. That shit will still make you want to get up and go do something that you probably really shouldn't be doing. Like that's the frequency that we talking about. It's the drum music. It's the drum work.
Also want to point out Kendrick, he said on a song Kendrick means king, and I'm just thinking, you know, since we brought up Drake, the red dragon in the Bible, usually what like kings represent in the Bible is very egotistical, very someone that is separated from God, someone that feels they don't need God, someone that feels that they can justify their rulership with something. Um, it's almost like it's two entities that have nothing to do with God duking it out. You know what I mean? Like it's literally, the devil versus Satan, or okay, the devil versus Leviathan. You know what I mean?
Hades versus Zeus.
Hades versus Tyrannus, or you know what I mean? Sutek or something like that. It's just like two demons fighting. You know what I mean? And it really don't have nothing to do with us. I mean, yeah, it's entertaining. We already had this conversation, but I just wanted to point out, Kendrick name meaning king, and usually what the kings represent in the Bible. And it was also, I want to say, Genesis 15, where you had the 4 kings versus the 5 kings, and all of that was going on. Because when you're dealing with kings and rulership, you're dealing with war. Almost always.
I think what you said is like deep as hell though, because like I don't know. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Okay.
The great dragon was hurled down. The ancient serpent called the devil. Well, this or can also, I've seen it translated to be and. So it's not always. See, look, in the English Standard Version, it's the devil and Satan, right? So the devil and Satan could be Kendrick and fucking Drake, right?
Two sides of the same coin.
Right.
Two
But
sides
then
of the
we,
same coin.
as human beings, righteous people, don't understand how the beast works. So we, with our good hearts, will say, well, Kendrick aligns with my values. I'm Team Kendrick. No, Drake, I'm in the light-skinned niggas, no offense, Ra. I've been listening to light-skinned niggas. I think for the mere fact that Drake light-skinned is light-skinned, that they just siding with Drake. Right? And no shade, because if I was a light-skinned nigga, I promise to God I would be Team Drake, just like I voted for Barack Obama because he was a black president, but I didn't understand his politics. I get it. Colorism is real, but it's still stupid as fuck. Because if you don't understand...
I couldn't take offense, big bro, because I'm not siding with Drake on this, but go ahead.
But you got to understand the devil and Satan, or two sides of the coin, or two-face, like heads or tails, nigga. No, fuck the coin, right?
It's the same coin.
Fuck that art form, right? Deceiver of the whole world. You know who Kendrick would get on a song with beyond Taylor Swift and all of these people? Rich the Kid, right? He would get on a song with a drill rapper, right? Like, these people promote gang culture subtly, indirectly, or directly. And when you promote gang culture, you destroying black youth. I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care. I don't care. You destroying black youth. Because a black boy can do a million other things. But these black kids, and trust me, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be a part of a gang too. I sought it out.
That's a fact.
So you don't have to create that archetype. You don't have to create the energy that might one day lead a boy down that road when you could do so much more in the contrary to that. And it's harder. It's not as, illusionary. But at the same time, when you follow God, you get peace in your heart. So the thing about peace in your heart is that money can't buy that. But nobody gonna tell you that shit on TV or the internet. Your influencers, your gurus not gonna tell you that money not gonna buy the shit that you're trying to buy with it. You actually gotta believe in God and follow God in all of your ways and put God first in all that you do, and put your kids first, your family first, and put your ego to the side and not chase your dreams and desires. Because even the goodest person be really demonic in 2024.
Super
And this is the
demonic.
energy. And this is the energy because motherfuckers be like, well, I like Kendrick more. I like Drake more. That's like saying I like the devil more. I like Satan more. But you wouldn't be able to see it because it's an illusion.
Yeah. It's like talking. It's like having a conversation on who will win between Yaldabaoth and Yahweh. Like it's super weird. Like
Jehovah coming in for a tag team though.
yeah,
Like, what happened if Jehovah come?
it's super weird, bro. It's super weird.
No, but then Jah gonna come and then Yah. What if Jah and Yah come? It'll be like a Royal Rumble. Who's gonna win out of Jah, Yah, Jehovah,
Yo,
Yahweh, and Yaldabaoth? I'm trying to see.
yo,
I'm trying to figure it all out.
yo.
Well, what if devil, Satan? No, we gotta bring Jesus. Jesus, like, what is we doing?
Whoever tags in Metatron, that's who wins.
Out of nowhere, here comes the Enoch from the top rope. Oh my God.
Whoever got Dolph is gonna have the best game plan. Like that's it.
Oh, I didn't know you was bringing in. It's so many gods. If y'all ever like study like mythology, like for real,
Like for real.
Like to even get to Yahweh.
Like Jesus is not even the most fascinating nigga. Like no disrespect to Jesus.
Nah.
No disrespect.
Them Canaanite gods that we worship today, like we worship Canaanite gods and shit. And we
not to cut your wisdom, but I just watched the Handelman movie, bro. Monkey
What's
Man,
that?
bro.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Bro, that shit is tough, bro. Handelman, like look up Handelman. That's a dope ass god right there.
Yeah. The Monkey King. That's my dude. That's my dude.
Yeah, there's so many gods and goddesses, yo. Like
then you got modern ones, you know, X-Men.
Yeah.
You know,
the Avengers.
Thor. Yeah, like Captain America.
But
that's what they molded this rap battle as, like Drake is Thanos.
Maybe we should pick a show or a movie and do a metaphysical breakdown. Maybe the folks are like that.
Movies be so ass. We would have to do an old one.
Yeah, we have to do something. Let's do East Bayou. Let's do East Bayou. You have me thinking about that from the last line. East Bayou.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, chat. Chat, let us know what is some good movies to leave in the comments, some movies that we should do. Join the Discord, give us some input. You know, we trying to do more shows catered to the breakdowns of what's happening in the real world and just give our perspective. You know, we're going to bring the astrology, the occult, the metaphysics, and just make it relatable instead of like, you know, how some spiritual people don't even care about the world. They just into their books, but we just want to, you know, kind of dibble and dabble, go back and forth, be in the metaphysical and the physical planes, but delivering it to you in a way that's digestible. Y'all got anything to say before we get up out of this joint?
Yeah, I only suggested the movies or the shows because I know most human beings are visual creatures, and so I figured something we could do, and I know we are all well versed in that area of, you know, breaking down some of these different concepts that exist within the spiritual and esoteric realm. But anyway, having said all that, no, yeah, I'm just real great and grateful and thankful for the space. Always want to keep giving the space to the collective. Like I said, join the Substack. Please join the Discord. Yeah, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. I like the way this thing is flowing. So yeah, I appreciate y'all time. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, connect with me on Instagram at Jabriji, JABRIJI. And if you don't do nothing, well, day almost over. But if you don't do nothing before you go to sleep, drink some water and meditate. Those are two things that would be an investment in self. Drink some water, meditate.
Hey, listen, man. I feel like we got to be hydrated as these energy streams happen and take place. You can be going through whatever you're going through, but I think what's easier for me is when I'm hydrated. Shout out to the fourth member of the Initiates, AD. He on the same page that I'm on. That cinnamon. If you trying to get the money situation a little bit better in your life, you want to increase the money situation in your life, get you some cinnamon, not the cinnamon sticks, okay? Don't go to Kroger's and get the cheap. They not even cheap. They mad expensive in they ass. Go to the Mexican Botanica. Every city got one. There's Mexicans all over this bitch. They got stores, right? Go to the Mexicans grocery store, right, and ask them for some cinnamon, right? Some of them got the big cinnamon in the bag. If you got like the Mexican bakeries, because the Mexicans, they know what's up. They very prosperous people and they into all of this witchy shit, okay? And they got the herbs for you. One of the major herbs that you need to get for prosperity, love, and all points in between is cinnamon. AD, if he was here, he would say that. So I'm using his spirit. I'm the voice for his spirit right now. He said his girl was putting cinnamon on her hand and she was a waitress pulling in 250 to 300, you know what I'm saying, a night, you know what I'm saying? So just things like that can help the collective. And that's what we all about here on this channel, just trying to help the collective and bring vital information. Somebody said that we should do the Dark City movie. I've not seen that movie in a minute. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm down to do any movie.
I vaguely remember it. I vaguely remember it.
I would have to. I've been looking. We should look at Bedazzled. We've been looking at a lot of
I
good movies.
also, I also
Bedazzled,
just,
Inkheart.
I also just opened up that them joint. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. You know that joint them on Amazon Prime.
What? What's it called?
Them.
Them. I heard about that. Is that good?
Yeah, yeah. They just had the second season just came out. You had to stop from the first season, but it had the original blackface, the black dude. It had the white paint, and then the black paint on top of the white paint. But he was actually a black dude. That original Bojangles spirit.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, you gotta
Them.
check that joint out, yo. Yeah, you'll like that shit. Them. I think it's the what's the comedy ball? Oh, that's doing the horror. Who's doing all the horror?
Jordan Peele. Jordan
Yeah,
Peele.
it's a Jordan Peele joint.
I figured.
Jordan Peele joint.
Somebody said that I just started this stream from the beginning and I'm already with this. You're right. I believe Kendrick believes in God and is being used by God in ways because it's needed. And I would just say that maybe, but I guarantee the person that God is using is your black ass, white ass, brown ass, red ass, yellow ass. I don't know what color your ass is, but whatever color your ass is, God wants to use you more than he wants to use Kendrick. I'll put money on it. If you want to wager me, my email is at hoodmysticgmail. We can set up the parlays. We can set up all the parameters to the bet. But I guarantee God is using you more than he is using some famous rapper. And it's reverse world out here. It's the upside down. Okay, you be in the crib with your family, enjoying life, going out into the nature park. Even if you got to catch the bus, whatever you got to do, however you got to live, is way better than a nigga with fame and fortune. But you don't understand that or understand that because the people that's on the forefront of the music industry, they have sold their motherfucking soul. Okay, and we need to watch Bedazzled. And the problem with niggas that sell they soul for fame and fortune is that it wasn't they soul to sell in the first place. And the worst thing about it is that they put out this message for the people and the kids that is okay or somehow, some way righteous, but you know, we all can't live in a fame and fortune, so we all feel like something the fuck wrong with us because we fucking live where we live and we do what we do. But even if you was going to better your life, it starts with being grateful and understanding that God can use your black ass, white ass, brown ass, yellow ass, purple ass, whatever color your ass is too. And I need y'all to understand and understand that it's not about these celebrities, bro. Fuck these niggas, bro. I promise to God, bro. I love everybody, but I love regular people more than I love celebrities. And I don't care if they Kendrick, because when Kendrick was saying that he was cool with the vaccine, that's when I was no longer a fan. I don't care how
That's
good
a
his shit
fact.
is.
Thank you. Thank you.
When he co-signed the vaccine,
Thank you.
I said no, Kendrick, no more. And I don't
No
care how
Kendrick no more.
righteous, I don't care how righteous, I don't care how good of a bop is, but at the same time, I'm biased, right? But I don't like Drake either, so maybe I'm just biased all the way around. But
Yeah,
I say all of
I
this to
prefer
say,
to I prefer to
let
straddle the
God
fence
use
on this
you.
one.
Fuck these celebrities.
Mhm. I prefer to straddle the fence on this one.
Yeah, man. No, it's very entertaining to tap into the matrix, but you got to make sure you tap out. Everybody
You
always
gotta
want to
know
tap
when to
in.
tap out. You gotta know when to tap out this bitch.
You know,
That's for sure.
yeah, man. Sit your ass in the dark room and light a candle, man. Make it into the flame in this motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man.
Go stare at a candle, man, and project your hopes and dreams into that. You know, figure out how you creating a false narrative about your life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. It just remind me of that song. I got the power. You got
Yeah,
the power, man.
within yourself.
Like I said, if you're not trying to keep that same energy with how you approach your everyday life, your everyday existence, then like that shit is a disservice to you that you got this much feeling about a manufactured rap beef. Like
Man.
I can't remember the last time rap was important. Like I didn't know it was that important. And lo and behold, my bad. I mean, it's all about what you give your time to, what you give your attention and your space to, right? That is
Right.
that is the new currency. So, I mean,
Man. I be really in my magic bag, bro. I really be like trying to like just expand myself and really utilizing the herbs and like just changing my life and bettering my life and just like learning myself. And you know, it works. But what's the sad part about this is like, you know, a lot of people not gonna do the work and they gonna be like, you
everybody
know,
can't go with you, bro.
yeah, everybody gonna be like, you know, who's better, Kendrick or Drake? You know, I like Drake. I think Kendrick's more aligned to God, and I think Drake.
Yeah,
No, what about you? Are you
that,
aligned to God?
that's
That's
the
the end.
biggest.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's the message.
that's the biggest.
That's the message right there. Like, are you aligned to God?
That's the biggest spin on you, though. You know what I mean? Making you feel like you gotta make a choice. It's either this or that. Think about it. It's even deeper into your life. You either black or white. You
Yeah,
Republican or Democrat. You either
yeah,
blood or Crip. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You from the east side or the west side. Why you gotta
yeah.
pick? Why you gotta pick?
And then not even
Reason,
know
man.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a particular demographic that resides with both of these channels. And depending on which side you're on, basically determines what type of character you purport to the world. And
Man,
that's crazy.
a
That's
good song.
crazy, bro.
A good song to listen to is DMX Ready to Meet Him, where he say, where I'm living ain't right. Black hate white, white hate black. It's right back to the same fight. They got us expecting the war, but the real war is to follow the law of the Lord. Another dead rapper that's a legend. But
DMX. RIP to that man. Like it's crazy. All the greats, man. And
Yeah,
now we just left with Drake and Kendrick.
Yeah, if you think about it, what do the masses know more of? Do they know more of the Bible or the ancient word, the ancient text, or do they know more of man-made law? It's way more man-made law, right?
Wait a second. Wait a second. What do people care more about? Do they care more about the word of God, or do they care about if Kendrick just dropped a new song, or if Drake just dropped a new song, and then you don't have to worry about what's wrong with our people?
Mm-hmm.
If I told you scripture could elevate your mind, if I told you to meditate on the word of God, like not even the Bible, but understanding the Hebrew behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe if you can get deeper behind that, meditate on that, and you will
Mm-hmm.
have some form of semblance and connection to God. And you say that sounds real interesting, hood. But you know, just Drake just dropped Family Matters 10 minutes ago. He was dissing Kendrick. I done broke down every line to it, triple entendre, quadruple entendre. Oh, he said that he fucked his girl and this, that, and the third. Well, what you know about Aleph connection to the food? What sign is Aleph really connected to? Earth, wind, fire? I can't never really understand the element connected to the food. Like, what say you? Ah, man, that new Drake, crazy. This is where we at as a population, bro. We
Yeah.
can't even get to the elemental understanding of is the fool, or is it connected to Lamut, the Egyptian goddess of creation of Egypt? Or is it representing the trickster? Is that the trick that the fool is actually the black woman? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
damn. Oh, we can't get in the conversation. No, but that Drake, though, he got some bars.
Mm-hmm.
Triple entendre. You ain't catch the line. No, but did you break down the Adam and Eve story, the fruit of the tree of life? No, like it's not mushrooms. Okay, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. That Drake is hot. That Drake is hot. That's
Right.
what I
No,
got. That's what you got to do with niggas, man.
yeah. Because the spell, man, hey, that was a powerful spell that people are still under, you know. I was just thinking while I was talking about like doing a spell on myself, like doing a love spell on myself, or
I
you know
say,
what I mean? Like
I say.
I
really
say,
think about it, you know what I mean? Like this is your vessel, you know what I mean? And it's a gift. The physical body is a gift, you know, and I'm thinking about just going and just doing something for the earth, for my community. I might just pick up trash tomorrow, man, because this earth really gave me this body so that I can come here and do this work, and ultimately I'm gonna give it back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So why not, you know what I mean? Take care of your body, love on your body, and things of that nature, because you're not your body, you know. You have a body, and it's up to you to, to make the most out of it so that you can develop spirit to completion.
yeah, so like that, I just bring up something crazy for me. So like, I work for a nonprofit, right? And we have something like an 88 to 89% success rate. We run a men's transitional house. Basically men who are just one step away from, not being homeless, so to speak. And this current past weekend, talking with one of my superiors, and she was like, we lost our third person in 2 years, and like I had the job 2 years, and to talk to somebody about the people who were successful versus the people who weren't, and knowing that the people who weren't are actually people who actually died, gives you a broader perspective on your existence, so to speak. So, like, I only say all of that to say, um, like this spiritual work and this work that I do with the initiates and I do with these brothers, like, I actually do this work in my everyday life. So, and we all are the same way. And that's where the authenticity comes from, because it's organic. And I just wanted to say thank y'all for giving us the space.
Good, you muted.
So I would say, to continue this conversation, join us on the Discord, right? The link is in the description or pinned in the comments. You can find me on IG at The Hood Mystic. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you like this video, please like it. It helps with the algorithm. It helps people see this video more. And of course, follow these good brothers, and they'll give you their IGs and things up now. Go ahead, guys.
Once again, Jabriji, Jabriji. Hit the link tree. You can get to the Hero Fence Book Club. You get to my YouTube. You also can get to AD. And yeah, good night.
Good night. Good night. Sir.
Dark Sacred _Serpent 2823 at Instagram. Racine Maurice on Facebook. Yeah, Substack The Initiates on Instagram. On YouTube, The Initiates also. And yeah, like I said, join the Substack subscription. It's a paid subscription, but it'll be worth it. The information is important. It's necessary. It's spiritual information. And I ain't charging nobody crazy. Just for my time. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the collective, and like I said, thank y'all for the time. Peace.
Peace. Another episode of The Initiates, and we'll be back in the future. Peace.